Mr. Kechi joins us next. He's a legal practitioner. Thank you for coming on.
Thank you, Chamberlain, for having me.
Well, this drama, it's dramatic, the way he's just panning out. Lots of people asking, look, what's this fixation about uniform? While all these things that look, just focus on what the substance of the matter is, this policy of theirs. But eventually, they got into this closed-door session, this meeting, the management of customs and that of the National Assembly, and then came up to a decision. Before that time, and all of this happening, what do you think?
Well, I think it's a show of impunity on the part of the customs boss. Let me give you an analogy. There is no law, written law, that says before you see the president, you as a citizen of Nigeria, before you see the president of Nigeria, or if you are a particular state, before you see the governor of a state, that you must fill in a form or go through some certain protocols. There's no law. There's no law that says so. But you must do those things because they are conventions. You don't do those things, you can't see the president, you can't see the governor. So it's everything that must be done need not be written in black and white as a law. As a customs officer, being remunerated, in quotes, being remunerated as a staff of custom, albeit the chief executive of customs, it is natural and conventional that he must put on his uniform at appropriate times, ceremonial times, formal times, though he need not put it on at all times. But where an institution like the National Assembly or the Senate has made an express demand that he comes before them with a uniform, he should obey that request and respect the institution. These are series of matters that we have been looking at in this country, and we cry.
Well, he has said that he's going to, as reported in the Daily today, that he will seek legal advice. So, if these lawyers tell him there's nowhere in the law that is stipulated that you must wear your uniform, I think if he says, no, yeah, convention or no convention, I'm not bound by law, duty bound by law to wear it. I'm not a commissioned officer. Why should I wear it? Will the Senate have any powers to do anything?
The Senate wouldn't have that kind of power to say, okay, you have to be forced, or before you come, we will tie a rope around your neck and your legs and force a uniform on you. Just like the Senate would, the president would not say that before you see me, you need not fill any form. Or if you happen to come with a friend of the president's and you are allowed in, the president will now insist that you separately must go back and fill your own personal forms. We shouldn't sweep conventions under the carpet. There's no written law even to say that a junior officer of customs should wear his uniform. There's no written law to say that a junior officer of army, navy should wear their uniforms. It is a matter of convention. So you do not say because there is no written law, you are seeking legal advice. What are you seeking legal advice for?
Tell us about, what's in a uniform, because if the Senate wants him to appear,
yes,
does it necessarily...
He might as well appear on a T-shirt.
Yes, of course.
Why should he appear on a T-shirt?
But his presence is there.
No, that is begging the question of impunity, the question of respect for institutions. We must ask that question. Do you have respect for institutions? Are you walking into your family friend's house? Or are you walking into your subordinate's office?
Have you ever seen him in uniform?
I've never seen him in uniform. He ought to have been in uniform once in a while. And nobody should begrudge him the fact that as events occur, he may put on his natives, his formal dressings, but as someone who is being remunerated.
What do you make of the meeting between himself, the CGC, and the Senate President?
The same effort that was put into going for that meeting would still have been into just putting on a simple uniform and appearing before the Senate. We make mountains out of more little hills.
So this is suggestive to you that he's above the law?
That's what he's trying to say. He's above institutions. He is above. It's like a situation where a judicial officer makes an order, a subpoena, that you should appear, and when you are appearing, you come with certain documents which are ordinarily under your care and under your possession, and you are appearing and you are saying that you can't bring those documents because as an officer of that department, you have a right to say whether you can bring it or not. That is disrespect to an institution.
What's the implication?
Institution.
What's the implication of the CGC wearing his uniform as to the carrying out of his role as the CGC and impacting also on his junior officers?
That's a very brilliant question. How would you convince some junior officers that they need to wear uniforms? And if they don't wear uniforms, you rule out some punishment procedures against them. Whereas you, at the helm of affairs, you are not living by example.
But if
he should be the person who would even put on the best uniform, the most immaculate uniform.
But if they are commissioned customs officers, they won't wear their uniform?
They should wear their uniforms, commissioned customs officers, even non-commissioned. Just new recruits wear uniforms. And it is nowhere in the law. I have searched the SEMA, the Customs and Exercise Management Act, and I never saw where they say everybody must wear uniform or that the CGS has the right not to wear uniform. No, you don't go seeking for such things inside of the books of the law.
You know, there was a lot of back and forth about that particular matter. There was also a similar kind of scenario about that customs vehicle duty policy, which was being debated before that meeting yesterday, yes. Where they now said, okay, well, the press release, or let's put it on hold.
Yes.
But what does this say to? There were lots of groups who spoke up against this one. Different groups thought, no, we won't have this. This won't be allowed to stand. Customs said, well, the motor dealers think that this is a good policy. They want us to help them out. But at the end of the day, it's been put on hold. So up until that period when it was put on hold, did you think that it was not out of place for Customs to have introduced that?
It's absurd. It's ridiculous. That is part of the situation that Nigerians, you and I, we have found ourselves. Government tends to transfer its failures. Government tends to transfer its failures, sometimes regulatory failures, down to the citizenry. And I'll give you an example. The subsidy regime in the petroleum industry, for example, it's not a bad idea. All over the world, subsidies are in place to help local consumers and local producers. But because of the fraud in the subsidy system in Nigeria, the government failing to cure that fraud, cure that corruption, their failure there, they now transfer it to the common man. And that is exactly what Customs and Excise Board is doing. They are transferring their failures to appropriately man the borders, to honestly man the borders, down to a consumer, an innocent consumer who walks into a car shop, looks through a car, likes the vehicle, buys it innocently.
All right, we'll talk about that and the consumer, yes, who should have their day today, if there's any such thing. Join us again.